Hey everybody, let me get that off of there. Sorry about that. I'm not already not off to a good start. But everybody, it's me. It's Call, and I am joined by AJ, who is becoming a fixture on the channel. AJ, my man, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. I'm always good hanging out with you, my man. Hanging out with some nice Spurs fans. We got quite a few in the chat already. Real quick though, I wanted to say I just noticed the little subheading under your name. I love that. I clap because I am happy. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. So guys, just to let everybody know before we kick off, I've only got an hour today. I was telling AJ prior, um, got a lot of things going on today, a lot of irons in the fire. So I just wanted to make sure that I kept my word and I came to see you guys too, because y'all mean a lot to me. So thank you guys all for being here. I'll go ahead and put up the welcome in everyone, and thanks to all members and subscribers. Appreciate all of you guys. We got lots in the old comment section already. L tells here, smash likes for a real Spurs fan. He says, Ian Meth's in the house. What's up, Ian? What else we got? Quez is here. Hey, Quez. Graham's here. Peter. And it's 8:03 a.m. in Melbourne. That's a better time. I like you better in the morning than you having to stay up all night to see us, Pete. So good to have you here. Daniel Coy's in the house. And yeah, that's pretty much everybody at this point in time. More might walk in and say hey if you do. We'd love to say hey back. Look at this. Speak of the devil, Audio Artisan is here. What is up, my man? Um, but guys, if you've seen the thumbnail, which you probably have, you clicked on it. I wanted to talk a bit about a fella that we signed. He plays on the wing. He is French. A lot of people call him Odebert. I don't think that's correct. I don't think the T is pronounced. I think it's Odebert. But yeah, how do you feel about Odebert, AJ? Just throwing it out there. What's your thoughts? Um, I know that we've probably talked about it a bit on other shows, but not on this one. Um, what do you think of his performance?
He's French, isn't he? So I'm sure one of the letters is going to be silent, more than likely the C. Um, I think it was a solid performance. I think it was an exciting performance. And there have been people that have stated, oh, but if you look at his stats, there was no end product. And yeah, okay, you can argue that. However, he's 19 years old, playing his first game at home for his new club in front of 62,000 people. He was exciting. He had the fans on their feet. Every single time he got the ball, his first touch, by the way, was immaculate. Every time he received the ball, took the ball in, and then committed to terrorizing his fullback. The fullback didn't know whether he had to come short. He didn't know whether Odegaard was going in behind, whether he was going to drop in and link up play. He kept him guessing the whole time. I say the whole time. Around about the 50th minute, he did start looking very tired, but he's a young player. You know, it was his debut, and I very, very well. We've been screaming as a fan base for a long time. We've been screaming as a fan base to have a winger that attacks the fullback. We keep hearing that Johnson doesn't do it, Werner doesn't do it, Son doesn't really do it. Now we've got one, and fans should be happy that we've got a young, exciting, quick, tricky winger that wants to take his man on. You're now hearing, oh, but there's no end product. Oh, but this. Oh, but it was only Everton. Let's just enjoy the fact that the young lad had a good game, something to build on. Let's give him a run of 10, 15 games, see where he is in his progression after those games. Let's see what he's achieving. If after those, he's still not putting up the numbers, if after those, he's still not scoring or assisting, then we can have that conversation. But guess what? He's still young. So let's actually give a player time to progress, to get established in the squad, and to start contributing before we jump on his back.
Couldn't have said it any better. I feel like, and we've got some people that are already jumping in. Pete says that he looks okay. We'll see how he looks when he gets more confidence. I thought he looked confident as hell, Pete. But yeah, even more confidence. That's a scary prospect. We could have a real talent on our hands. We've got Daniel saying the first half he was good. Second half, his error from a very bad pass nearly led to us conceding a goal for sure. I think he should have come off at halftime, Daniel. He ran his socks off first half, and didn't have a preseason with us. So yeah, being tired, I get that. I totally get the mistakes. And Pete loves that he plays without fear. Me as well. You got Ian Meth, Ian with you, AJ. And then look at this. Meta Football TV. That is a name I haven't seen on here in forever. It is so good to see you, Chris. He says that Yogi Bear looks decent. I love that nickname. I'm going with that forever now. Yogi Bear. That's good stuff. I thought he looked great. I thought he looked more than decent. I think we've been crying out for a player just like him. And I think to slate him or to give him a hard time after this first match when he's clearly given it his all, he's clearly done everything he could to impress the manager, and he impressed me. I think to poop on him in any way is disingenuous. I think that had that been Sonny, I think people would have been different. I think there would have been different things to say. And I also think there might be this notion that maybe he wasn't a player that Ange picked out, and people are upset about that. And we'll kind of and we'll get there. We'll talk a little bit about signings or the lack thereof. Ian saying he needs to add the numbers to his game. Yeah, I have noticed, Ian, that the people that are pulling out stats, not you, but the channels that are pulling out stats to I don't want to say bury this guy, but to talk down about him, talk about stats when it suits him, but when it doesn't, then it's all about the eye test.
The thing I find with stats is stats are great, right? But stats, in my opinion, should only ever be used to back up what you're saying. They shouldn't be the foundation of your argument, because football before social media, before people were collating data,
Opta Sports,
before all of that, it was about getting in the stadium or seeing the game on TV, seeing these players and how these players make you feel, how they make you feel, what they make you want. They make you want to get out of your seat and scream and shout. They make you excited. Odegaard is an exciting player. Yes, the end product wasn't there, but the fullback had to be on his game all the time. The centre-back, the right-sided centre-back, had to come over and be prepared to help for when his fullback was getting roasted, when his fullback was getting done on the outside. Which, if you're occupying the fullback and the right-sided centre-back, if you're doing that job,
somebody's open. That means you've created space for another player.
You're creating the opportunity for one of your inverted fullbacks to get up the pitch, join in. Then you're a man free, right? So whilst the numbers might not be there, the fact is he's still contributing because he's occupying two players. Two players are paying him close attention. And if two players are paying him attention, somebody's floating around through. So let's let the lad keep going, get more experience. Let's see where it ends up.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I don't think he's going to regress. I really don't see him regressing any. I don't think that we've seen him at his peak, and I definitely don't think that he's going to get worse. I didn't see any signs of that, at least. I don't think anything that happened was luck. I think he played his natural game, and I'm excited to see with some coaching how he can fit into our team even better, because he's really had just about the most minimal amount of practice with our team you could possibly have. Look at this. Rakdos Madness has become a new YouTube member. Sorry about that. I cut you off. AJ, what were you saying, my man?
No, I saw Ian's comment about where it said, agree AJ, but we've got Johnson and Werner who don't have any end products. Yeah, absolutely. But already, if you were going to ask me who I would want in my lineup, Odegaard's in there before Werner, or Werner and Johnson. For me, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I don't particularly rate either of them. I don't think they make us better. I don't think they push us on. But they're at the club, so we can't do anything about that. They're here until they're sold or the loan ends, right? So it's about using them to the best of our ability, to the best of their ability. For me, that's the impact subs. That's the last 10, 15 minutes of the game when they can stretch their legs and get an already tired defence. Because I want players that are going to start the match, like Son, who has not been great up until the Everton game, and he turned up. He put in an amazing performance, and he and Odegaard should be starting. Solanke should be up top. That should be our front three for the next game. Werner and Johnson should be nowhere near it. Then
let him come on in the 70th minute, like you said. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. And once the game is in its last 10, 15 minutes, then you can bring on both of them and see what they can contribute. And if they're not contributing when a team's already tired, if you're in the ascendancy and they're still not contributing, then when are they going to contribute if they can't contribute? Exactly.
Then? Right.
Exactly that.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I just feel like it's such a bummer that anybody's down on this kid. 19 years old. I guess a quick question for you. Do you think he's an Ange pick? Do you think that Ange specifically wanted him? Or do you think that maybe the data guys, the Longa, those guys, do you think they maybe picked him out and presented him to Ange? Is that what people's problem with the signing is? Do you think? I just feel like there's plenty of reason for there to be hype here, but there's not any hype,
I think the reason that there's not a lot of hype, and I think the reason some people might be down on it, is because he's not a name. He's not a recognized European. I think certain members of certain fan bases can be snobby when it comes to a player. If you're an Italian international, then it doesn't matter what your stats are for the last 3 seasons. Oh, you play for Italy, you're a quality player, you're an Italian international, let's get you in the side. It doesn't matter, but comparatively, your stats might not even be as good as Brennan Johnson's or comparable to. Let's get you in because you're a recognised name.
A big name, I've heard of you before.
It's exactly that, and I think there's a certain element of snobbery. Also, you could argue that fans had this signing come along if we'd have got, say, an Eze as well, or we'd have signed, say, Locatelli and Eze, two players that are recognised that are top tier players, and then we sign an Odegaard as well. People probably wouldn't be as on it and be like, oh, why are we signing? They'd probably be like, oh yeah, he's a good, exciting young kid. Let's give him a chance. But I think the manager has a certain amount to say, but the club, you can say, we found it with Conte, with Mourinho. They will say, I want X and Y to take this team forward. These are the players I want. They fit my system. Get me these players, we'll win something. The board then go, well, we see you want X and Y, but Z is quite similar. He's quite similar to X and Y, so we'll give you him, and he's within our budget. And then you'll make doing with a player that is similar to what you want, but might not fit all the characteristics. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no, definitely.
it's difficult. I think, was he an Ange pick? Maybe not. Maybe he ticks all the boxes, but he's an exciting young player. If his debute's anything to go by, I'm excited to see how this kid develops. So let's give him a chance.
I think by the end of the season, he's a nailed-on starter. And I think
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
boom. And I think maybe some people are going to be, yeah. I think people are going to be. I don't want to say anything negative to anybody. I think people are going to just be genuinely surprised. I think he'll start putting up numbers like I was saying. How many practice sessions has he even had with the boys? You know, like it's just going to take time to get him on that level with everybody else. But for somebody that's had minimal time, he looked awesome to me. He got me excited. It reminded me of, man, I feel like I'm going to get crucified for this, but you know, the olden days, the days that I remember really being excited by Spurs, Aaron Lennon, Gareth Bale, you know, just players that have that little bit of trickery and speed and can make things happen, can cause chaos. The chaos factor is something that we have really missed. And as somebody put, I think it might have been Graham. Let me see where it happened. But he said that, a winger that can take on his man and goes down the line, pulls out a low block, got to the point where they were doubling up on him, creating space for others. That's that chaos factor, Graham. I totally agree. And so, yeah, nothing bad to say about the kid. Stats be damned. The people will use them when they suit their narrative. They'll use the eye test when it doesn't. Well, so I'm doing the same thing. I am using the eye test today, and he definitely impressed these eyes. So yeah, second half tired. I get it. Let's see if there's any comments in here. Some people were talking about Johnson, and Chris pointed out very intelligently, by the way, that Johnson is suited to space ahead of him, not static football or against low blocks. And if you look at the way the Forest played, they were kind of a counter-attacking team with a lot of space in front of them, a lot of space for Johnson to run into. So I don't, and that kind of makes me question him coming in, but at the same time, he's here. So what are we going to do about it, I guess? My next question for you, AJ, is you were here for the Pochettino years, and you remember Poch and how Poch really seemed to favor youngins, and I think Ange is kind of the same guy. They have a similar philosophy that you have to buy all in. You can't really have much of an ego. You have to do what he says, and you have to be willing to run until you're dead. And I kind of think that might have influenced the signing for Odegaard. And maybe, well, I don't know. Of course, every manager wants established players, right? But are you worried about the state of this transfer window? It's rapidly approaching deadline day, and we don't have many experienced players. We do have a lot of young players that can easily be molded into what I believe could be great players. I think the team, or the coaching team, believes that same thing. Do you think that it's a purposeful strategy to go for these young guys with the smokescreen of maybe going for these more established players, or do you think that we've just simply missed out on them? For example, who's the Italian guy that went to Barcelona today?
Is it Diego, is it?
Yeah, it was. Went to Barca today. And people are like, wow, that was so cheap. Why didn't we go for him? For one, we had to have wanted to go for him, and for two, maybe he would rather have gone to Barcelona. We don't know. We act like just because we want a player means to. Yeah.
Is that a done deal? Is he there? Is he at Barcelona?
Yes, sir.
The Chiesa thing, I've had this disagreement with a lot of people. I've had this conversation. And I think that Chiesa is a decent footballer. I've heard people say that Chiesa is world class. He certainly isn't world class. He's never been world class. And since the injury, since the injury, he's certainly not been world class. Chiesa is a very good footballer. Without the injury, he's a very good footballer. And without the injury, at 20 million, he's an absolute. I'd be ripping your arm off for him. But he has had the injury and he's not been the same player since. This isolated these big. I'm not really a stat guy, but when people were telling me how absolutely terrible Johnson is, who I agree doesn't suit our system, and I don't think we should have signed Johnson. But people in the same breath have told me Chiesa is the difference maker. He's the bar. He's the bar where you set the level, right? He's the next guy. This is a little comparison of the two.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Going by Johnson's last 143 games, this was at the back end of last season, right? So we're not counting the two Premier League games, or for Chiesa, his two most recent games. Johnson's last 143 games, he scored 34 goals and got 22 assists. Chiesa played 9 games less in the same time period. He scored 1 goal less and got 2 more assists. So there's a 9 game disparity there, but the figures, considering Chiesa is the benchmark, the next level, somebody who really improves us, who is injury prone and has never played in the Premier League, against Johnson, who's terrible, rubbish, shouldn't be playing for Spurs, there's not much difference in it. This is why I didn't want to go anywhere near him. He has had one standout season in his career. Go and look at the figures yourself. He's had one standout season. He's had 2 good seasons, and the rest have been meh. Right? Yes, he's had a bad injury. He probably isn't ever going to be the same player he was. He's never going to probably get to the same level. I wouldn't want to sign in Chiesa. I don't care how much money it's for. If you're buying him because he's better than what we've got and he gets injured, you're still playing what we had before that wasn't good enough, and you've spent money. So for me,
And even though the
Chiesa is an
transfer fee's
absolute no.
low, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
There's
not,
his
not worth
wages.
it for me. Not worth it for me. But on the whole, the transfer window, I would probably give it a 5 out of 10 as it stands, because I think the young players we've got in, the recruitment, I think has been decent. I think Odegaard looks very good. Gray is a good footballer. I think he's going to take a little bit longer to settle. Bergvall looks accomplished. I
Oh,
cannot wait. I cannot wait to see that guy throughout the season. I think he is going to. I think he is going to make a name for himself this season. I think this is going to be a breakout season for him.
I truly
I
agree as
think
well.
we
Yeah.
I think we've got a very, very good young squad, and similar to Poch, I think the difference is Mourinho and Conte are win now managers. They're managers that go places. They're there for like 2 seasons, 1.5 to 2 seasons. You give
Get some
them what they want.
trophies out the
Yeah,
door.
you give them what they want. They work well. Those two managers work well in clubs that will back you. And when I say back you, I don't mean give you money to buy similar players. I mean, who do you want? Here's the money. Go and get that man.
Oh, you
And
want
they
Paul
have proven
Pogba?
that.
Yeah. Well, oh, you want Paul
Yeah,
Pogba? We'll bid whatever. Yeah. Pay his release clause.
100%. 100%. And that's what they've done wherever they've been. They've had the money, they've had the backing, they've got the players, they've won the trophies. That was never going to happen at Tottenham Hotspur. Never, because that's not the way we are. As a club, that's not the way we do business.
Yeah.
So
Right.
our club suits players, our club suits managers like Pochettino and Ange, who want to come in and build. And I don't think, I think you're right with what you were saying. Any manager, if you say you can have this player who's an international, who's Premier League proven, who's relatively contributing, say 20 GA a season, or you can have a similar sort of player that's young and he costs 20 million less, 30 million less. You know, any manager's going to want the more experienced player. But that's, once again, that's not the way Tottenham do business. It never has been. We will
Right.
give you the young up and coming players that are similar in ability, similar attributes, and
Similar
that's fine.
stats. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine. But you've got to then allow these young players to improve and evolve. I would like to have seen us sign at least two established solid players, so that these youngsters are sprinkled around them. It would make the transfer window look a lot better to me. I'd be giving it like a 6, 7 out of 10 then. But yeah, I mean, I got asked if I thought we were going to do any business come the last week of the window, and I said I thought that we'd get at least one more player in. I'm not overly sure now. I don't know. I said that Eze wouldn't happen, and it's not happened. I said
Once
that
that
Tony
once
wouldn't
once we missed
happen.
out on that release clause, there was no way we were going to
Yeah,
get this.
absolutely. Well, we wouldn't. The rumors were that we had to pay 60 million as the release clause, and they wanted 50 million up front. And apparently, that was too rich for Levy's blood. So once that release clause was gone, they're going to want at least 80 million for him. And if we couldn't give them 50 up front, we're not going to then start matching the price that they're the selling club. They're in pole position, right?
Yeah.
So what they want for their player, you pay it or you don't get him. It's that simple.
It's kind of sad though. I see him as another Wilfred Zaha, a player that is a bigger fish than the pond that he is currently in, but I think he is stuck there, unfortunately. You know, but hey, not my problem. I guess I want to be, for what it's worth, I wanted Wilfred Zaha at Spurs back whenever we were rumored with him ages ago. I put up Chris Peters' comment here because apparently we're linked with Kingsley Coman. I would not be at all disappointed with that. That's a senior signing. That's a player who could walk into the team just for just playing a game here. Would you be happy with that signing, AJ?
He is a player that excites me. When I watch him, he's a player that excites me. He's very quick, he's very direct, and he's got one of those really awkward strides when he's running. Like he's one of those players that the ball just seems to bounce, but if it's ricocheting off people, it seems to fall for him. He's just one of those sort of types. He has had his injuries, but his injury record is nowhere near as bad as Neto's or Chiesa's. So if he's available, I would sign him. I
Yeah,
think a player like that adds to the. And let's be honest, if we've got Odegaard and Son, and then we've got Coman, it doesn't really matter because only two of them can play at any one time. So if you're going to start Son and Odegaard, then Coman can come on for one of them. If you're going to start Coman and Odegaard, then Son can come on, and all the different permutations of that. So
and you don't really
anything,
lose anything. I like it because yeah.
exactly, exactly.
And there was another comment I wanted to get to up here. It was Quez's. Big up again, Quez. He says, I'm excited for Odebear. He played a full season in the Prem last year, and his stats are promising. His previous managers rave about him. That's the part I want. And his confidence, he showed confidence and ability to take on his defender. His previous manager, one of the most attacking managers in the Prem last season. Did it go their way? No, of course not. But I think that alone is a really good thing. I like the fact that he has played in an uber attacking system before. And I think it showed. I think it showed the other day. And if we're going to be going for young guys, we need to go for young guys that fit the mold. And I don't know. I just think, I don't know. People tell you all the time that you can't win the Prem with young players. We almost did it. I almost did it is saying too much, but we came close with Poch. We had some senior players in there, but we have some senior players now. I just think that I don't know. I don't think the sky is falling at all, and but I do think that we do still need a couple more players in it, at least one more. Let me get through some of these comments too. Everybody, I'm sorry for going so fast. I'm talking a mile a minute. I just want to make sure I get everything in before I got to go. So what do we got? Daniel's saying that he can't rate this window any more than 4. He's sorry, but ready-made players. Oh, he said if someone told him that we'd only have Solanke in as our established player, he would have thought it was an April Fool's joke. Love it. Chris Meta says we're still missing a commandeering center mid that can correct the defensive errors so the back line doesn't suffer. Chris, what did you think of Basuma in that role the other day? I know that Basuma blows very hot and cold, so it would obviously rely on him keeping that form. But I thought he did a pretty good job of doing exactly that against Everton. And again, I know it's Everton. Don't crucify me yet. Don't hang me on the cross just yet. But AJ, did you think Basuma did a decent job on that role? And if he could keep up that level, are you okay with him as that number 6?
You know what I think about the whole Basuma situation.
I know, but put that aside. Put the laughing gas aside for a second. And
I think he did a good job. I think if you're given a chance to redeem yourself, then you best redeem yourself, right? And he hasn't he hasn't done anything to upset the apple cart, has he? He hasn't done anything that's going to have people saying, "Oh, we were right. You know, we shouldn't have started him." He came on, he scored a beautiful goal, and he was good. He had a good solid game. Um, I don't think he's a six. I think he's an eight. I don't think he's a six at all. I don't think he's got the defensive discipline to play there. I think Bentancur is much better suited to that role.
Fair.
I think Bentancur is a better all-round footballer. But if if Basuma can get back to the way he was playing at the beginning of the last season, those first 8, 9, 10 games, if he can put those sorts of performances in across the season, he's a quality player. With Bentancur, if Bentancur I think is better than him, if Bentancur can find his form back that he had before he got injured, I think we've got a very good midfield. Have we got that? Have we got that ball winning alert number 6 that's gonna protect our back two? No, we don't have that. But apparently, from what I hear from everybody, Ange doesn't play with that. Ange doesn't play with a 6. He never has. Which
I think people
I
put too much
get.
emphasis on numbers and positions sometimes.
Hmm. Back in my day when I used to play it, I was a DM. I was a ball winning DM, and
I
I
played
was fairly
I
good.
played sweeper. That position doesn't even exist anymore. But yeah, yeah, I'm with you, bro.
I was I was fairly good at it. My job was to tackle, to block, intercept, and I did it, and I loved doing it. I think I played 7 aside, I played 6 aside, I played 11 aside, and I played it for a number of years, and I think I scored 3 goals in the course of that. But that wasn't my job, and those were one of them was a peach, and the other two were lucky. But that wasn't my job. My job was to sit back and protect my defence
Yeah,
and to win the ball. And as soon as I won the ball, my first thought was to give it to someone that isn't under pressure, someone that's free, or to get the ball forwards to one of my teammates that are capable of creating. And that's what happened. That was my job. And if, like Porro does, when he makes a tackle, when he clears the ball, he's up, he's fist pumping. And that's what I want to see defenders and defensive players doing. If your striker's doing 7 backflips with a twist and a pipe because he scored a goal, I want to see your defenders celebrating that they've blocked a shot, that they've cleared the ball, that they've made a goal line save. They should be doing that. They should have the same passion for defending that your strikers and your creative players do for scoring.
definitely. Oh, and I like the way our defense is kind of picked up that. I feel like they're sort of behaving that way. They really like pump each other up after a block, after a clearance. So that's something. If that could continue into the midfield, that'd be great. Chris here says that yeah, this is an 8. He's agreeing with you. He's too inconsistent, and frankly, he doesn't think he cares enough. Maybe not enough fist pumping, not enough. Yeah, he probably you're probably onto something there, Chris. I really hope though that he can turn it on and he can play the way that he did for Brighton. We'd have quite the player on our hands, that's for sure. Um,
Big up David in the chat. All right, mate. How you doing, David?
Yes, David, my man. Hope you're well. Hope everything is good in your hood. Hope you're keeping everybody out of trouble in Australia. It's a hard job. Y'all are a wild bunch, I hear. Um, what else we got? Who else we got? Oh, Colin Beckenbauer. Love it. Love it. Yeah. And then we've got Talk Spurs. Jamie's in the house and he just tuned in. Jamie, we got about a half hour left. I'm glad you're here, man. You almost made it for the best part, the part I was most excited about. Tequila's in the house. What is up, Tequila? Hope you're good. I just turned on YouTube and I see Colin's on. Colin and AJ, by the way. Yeah, AJ's here. He's holding the show together. So again, AJ, thanks for being here, my guy. You're doing all the hard work. I'm just asking questions. So real quick before I jump into my final topic that I feel like is going to take a while, do you see either Gray or Bergval becoming that midfielder that we need? We almost need Wanyama. I know Wanyama was so limited in what he could do, but Wanyama would actually be pretty sweet in this team. Do you think that Gray or Bergvall could be any of those, and be one of those
I
players?
I do miss Wanyama. People keep talking about Gray as a six. Um, I don't know if I see it. Watching him play, he likes to go forwards, right? He's watching him with the ball at his feet. He's got very quick, very tidy feet. And watching him against Bayern Munich, he did give the ball away a fair bit,
But there
but
was this
that
time
was
on the right where he was dancing
yeah,
around people. Yeah, I
that
saw that.
was when he gave the ball away. That was at the end of the kind of at the end of the move where he's juggled the ball between two or three players for Bayern Munich that are closing him down and his feet. I was watching him. I was like, the boy's got such good feet, but he seems to want to dribble the ball and get forwards. You've got to be disciplined as a six. What we need, there are varying types of sixes, but what we need is almost a destroyer. We need someone that is almost like none shall pass. Yeah, you shall not pass. Someone that's going to sit there and do the dirty work and give it to the more creative players. Because if your six is then winning the ball and driving forwards, if he gets caught, who's defending you? Who's in front of your defenders? Who's protecting them? So
And yeah,
I personally don't see Gray as a six. I don't know where his best position is, but he looks like a very comfortable, very complete footballer that just needs time to grow. But Bergval,
when he
I-
came in, I totally thought. Sorry to interrupt. I'm so sorry. I totally thought
no,
that
no,
Gray was going to be playing inverted right back. I really did. With his time playing, right back for as a time playing right back for Leeds. I know that that was out of necessity, but I thought he did such a great job, and the fact that he's got that midfielder's brain.
yeah,
I thought that he could do that inverted role perfectly because he basically step in and become an auxiliary midfielder. Um, and so I thought it was a no brainer, but it does not seem like that's going to be the way it goes. Um,
but it might. It's still very early days. I mean, we saw him deployed as a centre back. I mean, the first time he said himself, the first time he's ever played that role, and he played that, and he got caught out. His positioning wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible, and he still performed admirably considering he's 18 years old and he'd never played that position before. Um, I think it's with a player like him, it's about finding where he fits in and how he best suits the team. That's not yours or my decision to make. That's Ange's decision. He sees him in training day in day out. So let's see. Let's wait and see. All I know is from what I've seen, there's a very good footballer in there, and we need to figure out a way to let him flourish and maximize his ability.
Absolutely. We need to figure out where we can get the most out of him for sure. Hold your thought too. You were about to talk about Bergvall, but real quick, I wanted to say, David, he's using his member for 6 months chat. Has it really been that long, David? Jesus, man, time flies. But he says, good day, caller. Cobber. Yeah, we are a wild bunch. Big up on the channel. Quads on. I'm a happy clapper. This has a lot of bridges to mend. Only my opinions. I'm a happy clapper. So having you as a happy clappers are welcome here. If you're a happy clapper, Talking Ball will welcome you with open arms. I gladly, I'm the happiest of happy clappers. I'll always find something positive because the world is negative enough. Life sucks. And so
100%.
I'm not gonna go and seek out negativity or little things to bitch about. I'm just not. And I hope that I didn't. I don't want to. I definitely don't want to offend anybody. If you're not happy with things about Spurs and you want to talk about that, sure. And if there's things to talk about, I'll talk about them. But I'm just not gonna dissect and look for little sinews of trouble. No point. No point in my opinion. So that's just me. And David, big up. I seriously can't believe it's been 6 months, man. Thank you for all of your support, my guy. And yeah, you were saying something about Bergvall. Maybe I was asking if you thought he could be that guy, that defensive midfielder. Do you see him as more of a defensive midfielder, or do you see him again as an 8, as kind of a ball carrying box to box?
After watching him in the preseason, I see him playing wherever the hell he wants to play. He was like a whack-a-mole. He popped up absolutely everywhere. He was wanting the ball in any situation from anybody. It doesn't matter who was on him. how close how close they were, how tightly marked he was. He had the ball, he received the ball, and he was looking to create, looking to set his team on the front foot from the very get go. So I think if he was playing that role, it would be more like a deep lying playmaker, which is not what we need at the moment. Like if you're going to have somebody in that role, they've got to be there to protect the back two. If we get caught out in transition, they've got to be there to bridge that gap. Um, I think Bergvall and people will come for me. People will clip this. People, whatever. That's
clip
fine.
clip it, everybody. Start clipping right now. Go.
But I think he is going to be a superstar. I think this boy, at such a young age, still is a boy, for such a young age, to be so composed when he gets the ball. And it almost seems like he's ghosting people. He's picking up the ball on the half turn, driving, playing beautiful passes in 1-2. He's pressuring. He's doing all this, and it looks like he's doing it comfortably with ease. He doesn't look like he's stressing, busting the gut to get there, and just the composure the boy has. If this is the base on which everything's going to come, if this is the building block for him to push on and just keep going and keep growing and establishing himself, I think we have got one hell of a player. One hell of a player on our hands.
100%. 100%. Yeah, he's looked phenomenal. He looks like a grown man and plays like one too. You know, like you said, he's only 18, 19. So that
18, I think.
Jesus, that's crazy. So yeah, man. I'm the same way. You can clip us both, guys. We're both happy clapping about this guy. And Graham says they're happy clapper T-shirt on the menu. I'll whip one up today. That's a great idea.
I clap because I'm happy.
Yes, exactly. I'll get that whipped up. Don't even worry. So there's one thing I really want to get to, but there's a few good comments in here. Daniel says, let's talk about, first of all, shoot. Sorry, I'm way off of it here. Chris Peters asked if I saw the third shirt release. It does. It does look a lot like the green shirt from the Champions League run, which I'm sad I never got. Yeah. Oh, me too, dude. Yeah, I'll probably pick one up, depending on funds, of course. But yeah, I'd probably pick one up. I'll DH gate it if I have to. Yeah, they look lovely. And it does remind me of that wonderful Champions League run, but it also reminds me of that Champions League run, if you know what I mean. It's like it's a good and a bad thing. It was definitely. Oh, Chris has got to go. Hey, Chris, definitely tune into the end of this show later because that's the part that I think you would like the most. So definitely please watch it back if you can. Thank you. And so Chris Peters is agreeing Bergvall is going to be a beast. And Daniel Coys. Oh, yeah, and Chris. Sorry, I feel like an asshole. I'm going so fast. Thank you so much for being here, dude. It means a lot. I know that there's things going on, and just I appreciate you. I hope you're well. And I'm going to reach out to you on WhatsApp. I'll reach out to you wherever I can find you, Chris. Good to see you, bub. And yeah, it is kind of important. I'm just going to go to it. Sorry, guys. Don't hate me. Here's what I just wanted to say really badly. I've wanted to say this for a while. No fans are the problem. And I'm sorry if anyone has made you feel otherwise. There are like a subset of people that will tell other fans that they're the problem, that we are the reason why. I say we because I'm a happy clapper, you know, that we're the reason why the team is mediocre. We're the reason why things aren't going the way they should. We're the reason why Tottenham doesn't win trophies. And I think that's absolute bullshit. And I'm not gonna get like upset or angry, but I just want everybody to know, support the team however you like. Just don't shit on the way that other people do it. And you know, I'll say to the people that tell other people they're the problem, how come you guys haven't fixed it? If we're the problem and we're not doing it right, and I say we like me, I'm not including AJ because I don't want to drag people into my fight. But if I'm the problem, or if a subset or group of fans is the problem, why hasn't the other subset of fans that aren't the problem, why haven't they fixed it? What have they gotten accomplished? Are we doing such a good job at messing it up that they can't even fix it? I don't know. The whole thing just is weird to me, and I don't understand the infighting. If we want to get anywhere, we got to come together. You know what I mean? This is, I don't know. I just think that dividing fans, division is not the answer. I think it's an easy thing to do, though. It's really easy to point fingers and say it's your fault, but it's not. It's not logical, and it's not super mature. And I don't know about you, but I'm not a millionaire. I can't buy Spurs. I can't really influence anything Daniel Levy does. I wish I could. I just can't. And so, yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. Please, nobody crucify me. Please, if you want to leave the channel, I can't stop you, but please don't. I promise not to do this all the time. But, yeah, Jamie says, I'm so glad you brought this up, mate. Thanks, man. I almost didn't, but I'm glad I did too. David Shear says it's a cheap cop-out. 100% agree. Chris says, if you worry about those fans, then you're giving them more importance than they deserve. And that's exactly what I think some other people I know would say too. Daniel says, yeah. Oh, wait, talking about the Newcastle match. That's important too. And then we got Jamie saying, everybody has their opinion. You support the club how you wish. And I guess those people can too, but it's just whenever you start shitting on other fans, it really upsets me. And I feel like it's just weird. It's just a weird cornball, goofy thing to do. So we don't do that here. Support the team however you like. I don't think anybody's the problem. And yeah, we're all Spurs fans at the end of the day. I think. So yeah, we'll get away from that. I got a heart from Quez. Big love, Quez. Graham says, if certain fans have issues with the ownership, they should take it up with them. My options on Spurs will not change anything. Yeah, how can it be your fault? It's exactly how I feel, man. And then Jamie says, there are certain channels and people who won't mention, and you know who, they give us crap saying it's our problem and we spend at the club shop, but they have season tickets. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. You can't have it both ways. A lot of people want to, but it's you just can't. So yeah, rant over. Still got 10 minutes. And Graham, or not Graham, wow, AJ, sorry to have dragged you into that, but
mate, you ain't dragged me nowhere. Don't worry about that. No, absolutely, I second everything you've just said. 100%. As a fan, I support my club. When we win, I don't care who we beat. I don't care if we're beating Barcelona or Dagenham and Redbridge. I couldn't give a shit, right? If we are winning, that's my club. I'm cheering. I'm happy. Yeah, of course, beating Barcelona means more. You're beating one of the best teams in the world, but your club is still winning regardless. There were people that were crapping over the fact that we demolished Everton because, oh, well, it's Everton. So,
just Everton.
Yeah, but that
beating them was still somehow like what else were we supposed to do except for beat them? You know,
exactly that. By that logic, we're rubbish. We're crap. We're not at the level of City or Arsenal. So by their logic, City and Arsenal should be beating Everton by about 6, 7, 8 goals, right? If we're crap and we can beat them 4-0, surely. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when they play. And if the scores aren't like that, then something doesn't quite translate, does it? I don't believe that anybody should tell anybody else how to. You support your club however you want to support it.
And I guess fans. I feel like I'm sort of being a hypocrite because I'm telling them not to do this, which is, I guess, the way they support the club. But if the way it's like with anything, people say that you should have freedom of speech, you should have freedoms. But the second your freedom of speech and your freedoms infringe on other people's, then it's not fair anymore. That's not how it goes. And so support the club however you want. But if you're shitting on other people and making them feel bad and making them feel like they're not fans, then you're not a real supporter, in my opinion.
The amount of shit that I've heard, right? I've heard some people say this, that fans, Australian fans and American fans, Canadian fans and Korean fans, and they're not real fans because they don't go to games. I'm sorry, right? If you are getting up at stupid o'clock in the morning, or you're staying up until stupid o'clock in the evening to watch a team play a game, kick a ball around a field, if that's what you're doing, you're a fan. If you're going out of your way to support your club, unless you're a multi-billionaire, you're not going to be flying on your jet to go and watch every game. If you're buying a season ticket, yeah, great, wonderful, well done. And then, oh yeah, but we're shit. But you've then you've contributed £2,000 towards the people that you say are shit and don't know what they're doing. You've got players who will buy hats, scarves, shirts, any memorabilia, any merchandise. They'll buy subscriptions to different channels so they can watch the games because they're not physically able to go and see them, right? That's the fan. That's the fan. Somebody who wants to get behind the club they support in any fashion. That's the fan, yeah? Somebody that's positive and happy and wants to cheer their team on is a fan. Shitting on people because they don't do it the way you think they should isn't being a better fan. It's being narcissistic. Telling people how to support a club and you're wrong if you don't do this and you're wrong if you don't agree with this. That's narcissism. That's not being an Uber fan. That's not being the right sort of fan. I don't tell anybody. I don't tell anybody how to support the club I support. And another thing that I've heard that aggravates me no end is I've heard this from numerous different people in numerous different, like on Facebook, on Twitter, in group chats, where people go, oh, yeah, well, some fans just don't want to win a trophy. I can honestly tell you this. I've been alive.
That's insane. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard.
I've been alive for 40 years, right? I've supported this club since I can remember even watching, like, I can't tell you when I started because I've only ever known watching Tottenham Hotspur. Yet, there are people that claim certain Spurs fans don't want to win. I can honestly tell you I've never encountered a Spurs fan, whether it be in real life or on social media, that has said in these words, yeah, I'm not bothered about winning a trophy. I just want to be competitive. I've never, ever, 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 ever heard that. If you have, if anyone in the chat has actually heard a Tottenham fan say that, please tell me who this person is. I've never heard it, but there are people out there that will let you believe.
They'll swear up and down.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah. And I've never experienced that in my life. And if I did, I'd shake them. I'd give them a damn good shaking and be like, "You're clearly not a fan."
Give your head a wobble, mate.
People want your team. You support a team. You get behind a team. You make the effort to watch them or go to see them because you want them to succeed. You don't spend all that money, put all that time and effort into following a club to go, yeah, I'm happy that, so what if we didn't win? It's all right. Like, we don't have to win.
Everybody had fun out there. Yeah, exactly.
It's an absolutely ludicrous, lazy bullshit statement to make.
It is, and I think, and I'll only touch on this a bit longer. And if anybody this might get clipped and stuff, that's all good. But there are channels where I feel like the anger and the hate and stuff is just to draw more people into their channel because it's like the news. It's like anything, doom and gloom and drama sells. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be any different on YouTube. For a lot of people, this is a good source of income. This is money into people's pockets, and you know what it takes to get that money into your pocket? Views, subscribers, memberships, and I think personally that a lot of it is agenda based, and I don't even know if the people that are saying that really even feel that way. But I'll drop it soon, I promise. I just want to say, guys, I think everybody's a great fan. If anybody has ever made you feel like you're not a real fan or you're part of the problem, I am sorry. You're always welcome here. We'll never make you feel like that. And then I also challenge, if any of those people see this, and they might, tell me what you're doing differently than me, because as far as I can tell, we're both just watching the matches and talking about them on YouTube. What are you doing to improve the club that I'm not doing, or that anybody's not doing? I would just like to know so that maybe I can do it. Maybe I can help be a better fan. I don't see anything being done by anybody, especially not the loudest, most vocal, bitchy ones. They'll bitch in comments, but guess what? Daniel Levy's not in here reading these comments. So, yeah, I promised. I'm done.
Cole,
Yeah.
look at the comment. Look at the comment from Spurs GCTV. Absolutely nailed it. Look at the comment.
I want trophies, but I'm intelligent enough to know they're not a God-given right. They are not easy to obtain. Many think, yeah, they're not easy to obtain as many think. A lot of luck is involved, 100%, 100%, and a lot of rule breaking that happened years ago that is now no longer possible. A lot of crazy investment that you can't do these days. The game's kind of rigged against us, and if you can't see that, well, you need to go to Specsavers and get yourself a new pair. So, yeah, yeah, that's really it. I just wanted to say to everybody, I love you. I think you're all good Spurs fans, and even if we disagree, that's good. That's totally cool too. And then before I go real quick, I got a couple minutes left. The wife isn't back yet. We're having curry. We got a curry coming. I'm really excited.
Oh,
dude,
I'm banging.
So excited. So that'll be great. And yeah, Chris, there's just been some stuff that just been getting under my skin, really. Graham says, yeah, the 1981 FA Cup final. Perfect example of luck. Huddle free kick to earn the replay. 100%. David says, Gaza in the 91 as well, the FA Cup semifinal. You guys are bang on. And then Eltel, my man, saying, great to see real Spurs fans in this chat. You're one of them, buddy. Great to have you. Great to have you. All right, so we'll get off that train again. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox. I know I was kind of annoying. But, guys, we do have a match coming up. And I wanted to ask, do you think, so it's Newcastle. I know that a lot of people are kind of have like Newcastle PTSD, and some of it comes from us losing 5-1 to a relegated Newcastle years and years ago, which then led us to buying Moussa Sissoko for like £30 million. But anyways, that was a weird one, but we don't need to go back that far. Are you afraid of Newcastle this weekend, man?
Absolutely not. I think, listen, Newcastle, when they are at full tilt, when all their players are available, when their confidence is high, they are a very good team and they are capable of hurting anybody. And in the last few years when we've been there, they have taken us apart. The thing is, I think it's a really good time to play them. We totally outplayed Leicester. Absolutely outplayed Leicester. We didn't capitalise. We didn't take our chances. And at this level, if you do not take your chances, Aston Villa versus Arsenal, Aston Villa had 3 chances to score. Ollie Watkins had an open goal. They had the chance to be 2-0, 3-0 up against Arsenal. They didn't take their chances. Arsenal won the match. If they'd have scored those, Arsenal possibly get beat. Everyone's going, Villa are, they're looking good this year. It can happen. It can change as quick as that. It's the Premier League, right? It happens. Yeah. So I think now is a very good time to play them. They don't look very good. We've outplayed both the teams we've been against. Had we converted the chances against Leicester that we converted early against Everton, we'd be sitting here now, 2 very comfortable wins, and people would be like, this season could be different. We've started really positively. Everyone lost their shit when we drew with Leicester. It's the Premier League. No game is a given, right? You're not guaranteed.
Switch off for a second. Switch off for a second, and anything can happen. It's all, you have to be switched on for 90 minutes, and that's hard to do.
Did Manchester City win every single game last season? No.
No, sir.
Did they lose? Did they lose games? Yes. Did Arsenal win every game? No. Did they lose games? Yes. You can argue, yes, of course they lost more than we did. But the point is, if there is a massive divide between what is elite, which is City and Arsenal, and the rest of the teams are nowhere near their level, surely, if it was that obvious and it was that polar, nobody should be able to beat those teams, right? But they did, didn't they? They did beat them. They did take points off of them. So at this level, at the elite level, if you do not take your chances, you get found out and you get punished for it. I'm confident about playing Newcastle. I think at this particular time, this particular moment, I think we've got a very good chance of going there and getting all 3 points. I don't fear Newcastle. Bring them on. Let's get 3 points and hear the outcries of, oh, but they haven't been great lately. Oh, but this. Oh, but that. Oh, but there'll be some reason as to why.
I was
If
going
we
to say,
win that match,
yeah,
if
Newcastle
we
were
win
shit.
that,
Spurs got
yeah.
lucky. That's the narrative. I can already feel it.
If we win that match 1-0, 3-0, whatever, if we win that match, it doesn't matter the scoreline. There will be a reason as to why we can't get hyped. We won because, I don't know, the ref was dodgy or their players didn't turn up or they had someone. There will be reasons as to why we cannot celebrate the victory because we haven't earned it. That's just my opinion, for whatever it's worth.
Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we're genuinely surprised, and everyone's happy and partying and, living it up. And I think the stadium going fans will definitely be that way. And hopefully everyone else will follow suit. I just heard Beth get home. So I do have to go, guys, but I just want to say, I love you guys. I love everybody. I think we're gonna smash Newcastle. I'm doing another show tomorrow, 4 p.m. UK time. So I'll see everybody then. But I just needed to get this off my chest. I feel a lot better having talked to you guys about it. So to lighten the mood, I'll do what I always do. I'm gonna play us out with a Keeper West Ham theme, and then we'll see everybody tomorrow. AJ, thank you again so much. Oh, shoot. I got to thank a lot of people real quick. Thank you so much. We've also got Rakdos Madness for becoming a member. Thank you so much, Alan. I appreciate you, buddy. And look at this. David Shear's been a member for 6 months. Still blows my mind. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in, voiced their opinion. All opinions here are valid. All fans are real fans. If anyone's made you feel like you're not, don't even worry about them. So big up, guys. Love y'all. See you tomorrow. And AJ, you got any final words?
No, man. Just thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure as per normal. Let's hope we get the 3 points on the weekend and look forward to hearing the reasons why we did and why we shouldn't get carried away with winning.
Boom. Absolutely. And guys, like I always say, be good to each other, be good to yourself, and have a great day. Bye. Boom.